is the garden journal for April the 2nd. And it's about 65 degrees. It's been pretty cold up to the last few days. Looks like all the spring growth is starting to come on. All the bulbs are blooming. Here's the tulips right here. These are like the first tulips, I think. And a lot of the daffodils haven't bloomed yet. Here's some winter alkanite. Here's some of these early spring bulbs. I never can get the name right. I think these are called Alpine rosy bells. I think a lot of times it just depends on what the person selling it wants to call it. I think when you buy things in mail order from certain seed companies, they're usually pretty accurate in what they call things. So. This is a hyacinth coming on, I think. This is in irises and daylilies. Here's some of those spring bulbs. I think, the person that gave me these blue ones, they called them shooting stars. These irises, tulips that are coming on. These are daffodils. I really like them though. They're not the big, huge hybrid ones that you always see. I think these are ones that have not been hybridized yet. And I kind of like ones that have not been hybridized yet. Roses that have not been hybridized usually always smell much better. And the thing I've noticed about more of the wild species with the smaller flowers is there's a lot more of them, and they will reproduce faster. And this here is yeah, I don't know, it looks like something I planted last year though. This is yarrow cerise queen. It's got big red crested flowers. This is going to be Alpine strawberries. I'm sure glad they came back. I just planted them from a small start here last year, and where I got them from, they had just spread all over the place, even into the lawn. And I'm pretty sure what's happening is the birds just love the little tiny strawberries. And they're not the big hybrid ones, they're the little ones like little, any kind of little teeny blueberries like the tip of your finger. The small berries, from what I understand, they are really sweet, and people just love the taste of Alpine strawberries. And so the birds evidently do too, and they will spread them everywhere. Because once the birds eat, then they pass the seeds on wherever they're sitting. These are peonies coming up here. This is penstemon, and there are tons of different varieties of that. This one here I planted because it's supposed to be drawing hummingbirds with these red tubular flowers, although I never have seen any. And this plant here goes dormant as soon as it starts to warm up outside. And this here came back. I think it was ground cover I planted here. I thought it was called dichondra, but I don't think that was it. I think they gave it a different name. I wanted to think it was something else. These little blue flowers here that we see in the red, must have been. In fact, I know it's been over 30 years ago that a friend of mine just gave me a start off of those. And so now, every time that I move around a plant, transplant these tulips or whatever, it seems like some of those show up. And so they're just spreading all around my garden. And they're really nice. Once it starts to warm up outside though, they're gone till next year. And here's some more of those. I guess I have to find out the name of this because I've forgotten that I planted here last year. But you can see they're spreading all over this area. I planted them here because I've seen in so many garden books they'll be growing over the tops of stepping stones like this here. And in fact, they have the ones with the dark green and the ones with the pale green leaves. And when you plant those together, it's a nice contrast. And they can grow over stepping stones, and it doesn't hurt them to be walked on too much. All of these flower pots here, somebody gave them to me because they knew I'd like them, and they were going to get rid of them, I think. But so it was a lot of snow on the ground, so I just threw them out here. I got tons of broken pot shards and this soil out here anyway. But look at this here. It was snow on the ground when I put that there, but look at it now. What is that? Daylily. The daylily grew right up through the pothole. And this here is a hardy geranium that's coming, starting for this year. Yeah, it's just getting started. There's a big clump of that right here that's been growing here for several years now. And that's kind of what I like, is having these plants here. They just keep coming back every year. But then it's nice having some annuals, because annuals have a longer blooming period, whereas perennials have a shorter bloom period, but then they come back next year. These are more hyacinths. Sorry. Hyacinths are really perfumey, big, showy bulbs. Here's another spring flower that I've got everywhere, that's reproducing itself everywhere. A lot of these bulbs reproduce by vegetative reproduction. In other words, the bulb will grow another bulb right next to itself. And lilies and tulips and daffodils all do that. I think these are daylilies. Irises, there's irises and tulips. Daylilies here. I just love having tons of different kinds of flowers all growing in the bed and just coming back each year. I don't know what this is, but I'm sure it's something. And we'll just have to wait and see if it blooms. And if it doesn't bloom, maybe I'll just dig it up. There's some sedum. Got red crested flower. Here's some of the bigger daffodils that are starting to bloom now. And some of the wild little ones. Those are fine. I like those. They reproduce a lot faster, I think. And this here is Vinca minor, right there. I planted a little bit of that. It's been growing here in my yard for years and years and years. These look like crocuses. This is a Japanese iris, I think. It's like a miniature iris, but I think it's Japanese iris or something. There's another one. It's a daffodil. I don't know why it's laying over like that. As long as I think the snow gets to them. This is Helleborus, Christmas rose or Easter rose or something like that. It's got a lot of new growth this year. Look at that. This is old growth last year. It's growing really good down here in this ground cover of Lamian. But it's been here for a few years now. It seems to be pretty happy. And it's got a good bloom here coming on. And here's the daffodils.